Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Ink Stained Archives, which is a collaboration running between myself, Mandy, from Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors, and Nathalie from LineDotArrow. The collaboration is also being hosted in two other Facebook groups, which is Sophie and Stacey's group. The information will be in the description box below, as will the link to Nathalie's Facebook group if you're not already a member. There is also some kits that we're working with. The kits are available in my Etsy and Nathalie's Etsy, and they are Ink Stained Archives. Nathalie has done one kit with 25 pages and I have done another kit with 25 pages. They are 25% off for the month of November. So if you want to purchase them, I'll again put the link below. But each week we are providing freebies into the Facebook groups, which is Nathalie's LineDotArrow and mine, which is Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors. So there are freebies for each of the 3 weeks. We're on week 3 of the collaboration. Can't believe we're here already, and next week will be a catch-up week. But week 3, and yeah, super excited. All of the information you will need for this is in the description box below. But I'm just going to quickly run through with you. These are the freebie or the challenge papers for my group for week 3, which is Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors. So these are the papers that you will get in the group. You can download them from my Ko-fi as well, but as I said, all the information will be in the description box below. There are free papers for each of the week 1 and week 2 as well. So if you haven't yet seen those, then they again will be available in the group. So yeah, just a quick run through of the papers that are free in my group this week. And we went with a library-themed, old vintage, grungy library theme with some florals. And the kind of colour scheme was neutrals, browns, beiges, creams and off-whites, and then we introduced some blues and some additional colours just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. These will make sense now as we move on. So they are the freebies for this week. As I said, there's freebies for the other 2 weeks as well. Now, this week's challenge was to create a layered ephemera cluster inspired by old book spines, which is why you have the book spines here. So an old or a layered ephemera cluster inspired by book spines. So I've put some book spines in there in the freebies, and of course there's other elements from this week and the previous week where you can have a play along and just build whatever you want. You don't have to go with the prompt. You can create anything you want to, but if you are creating and you are using either the freebies or the kits, then please post them in the Facebook groups, because there is a giveaway. There's a giveaway in mine and Nathalie's group of 5 digital kits, so 5 drawings for a digital kit will be made at the end of the month. You can choose any kit from my Etsy. I think Nathalie's next month's challenges are exempt, but you'll be able to get in touch with Nathalie because she'll do the drawing in her own group. Yeah, so as I said, there's 1 entry for using the freebies. There's 2 entries if you use the kit and all the freebies. So please make sure when you're posting you make a note as to whether you are just using the freebies or you're using the kit and the freebies, because we'll then update the posting or the listing with all of the entries in. So I'm going to be playing today. I may use some of these, I may not. But I'm also going to use some of Nathalie's papers. Now, these are from Nathalie's kit, not the freebies. And I've chosen some of the papers or some of the elements that I think I might want to include within the cluster. So absolutely fabulous and yeah, really, really fun to be playing with these. So I used my kit, our freebies, for week 1 and week 2, but as I said, Nathalie's kit is fabulous, so I wanted to incorporate some of her makes so that I could have a play with those. Now, I haven't prepped anything yet, so what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go away and I'm going to come back once everything's been prepped, backed, cut out, so we can just have a play. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I think I'm all cut out. I'm all cut out and mostly inked. I haven't done any stitching yet, and I haven't really decided what I want to do either. So like I said, I've pulled a load of pieces together that I think might work and have a bit of a play with. And that is these here. Now this is something I got from somebody who does vintage ephemera, and I just really like the idea of incorporating this as a pocket, but I think it's possibly going to be too big unless I really stitch it up, so I'm not sure about that yet. I want to include this some way. Now I can't get in here to cut it. Now my circle cutter, the one that was big enough, wouldn't fit. So I figured I would have to, if I'm going to use that, I'm going to have to cover that. And, you know, cover the front of that up with some ink. So to be honest, I don't really know where to start. I do want to have this with a an eyelet in, and I want to have that on one of the side pieces, so I'm not sure whether that will go there, but I do quite like that there. And then I'll put what will I put in there? Well, I could put it on the top there. Because I also want to include these. Now these are like little hinges. I don't suppose this to be used on their own, but I really like the look of them when you use them on your creations, and it would kind of give me a bit of an opening here. But I don't want to use this as an opening because I'm creating a cluster. I have to keep telling myself I'm creating a cluster because I keep forgetting. I'm just thinking pockets and tucks and everything else that goes with that. So I do want to use this as part of the cluster, and I think I'm going to have it as a pocket within the cluster. And this is going to be a huge page cluster, and the idea would be that it's either going to be a side kind of cluster, page cluster, which could either be a side tuck as well, or it's going to be just a whopping page cluster you're going to put on the side of your journal. So I do want to do that. I want to kind of grungy this a little bit, just in places, not too much. Just to add a little bit of texture. I'm going to pop some of our fake washi tape on here, because I'm thinking this is definitely going to be a central piece for the cluster. I don't know exactly how that's going to pan out, but it is going to be a bit of a central piece. I was thinking of having that in there, like that, which means I'm going to have to glue that down. Let me see, sorry, I'll just move that. So that's going to go in here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there for a minute just to keep it in place where I need it. And then I'll go behind. Sorry, I've got no strength in this hand at all since I had an op on it. And it's created, it's kind of given me a flare-up of my arthritis. So I'm really struggling to do anything with this hand, but yeah, so that will be like that, and I'm happy with that. Now I want to use this because I absolutely adore it, but as I said, I also want to use these hinges so they look like they're book hinges almost. And how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to glue those onto this page. Now this is like a cementy type glue. I don't even know, I think I got it for jewellery. But I figured anything with cement in it, it's got to be pretty decent. She says. So I'm going to see if that will work on this. I'm going to pop one there and clip that in place. And then I'm going to pop, oops a daisy. Sorry, there was a pin in there that I didn't see. So I'm going to pop another one here. So it almost looks like little book pieces. And don't forget, you don't have to create the prompts. You can literally do whatever you want. Literally, you don't have to create those. That is our new, we have a new guide dog. Oh dear me. He's our guide dog. He's a guide dog in training, and we foster him. His name's Utah, and he's an absolute sweetie, but he is pretty full on. So he's playing with one of his new toys at the moment. We only had him 2 days ago. And yeah, already he's made himself at home. So yeah, this is going to be a whopping page cluster, and it's using, the idea was to use book spines. And this is going to be my book spine. I was going to use lots of them, but I'm just going to use the one at the moment. So I'm thinking that on there. I'm thinking this somewhere on here. Or I could even have that as the inside. So that would go on the inside. But I wanted to use, I printed off, where did that go? I printed off a picture image. This is the problem when you try to use a desk as messy as mine. You lose things very quickly. Okay, so I did have a, oh, there it is. That's why I put it on the inside. That was very silly. Right, I think those are secure now. So those there, I could keep it as an open booklet, but I'm not going to because I'm going to stitch it I think, down here and across here, and I'm going to have it just as a pocket here. I wanted a tag to go in the pocket. I could go with that, but I wanted to layer these more. No, I think that's going to be overkill. So I'll definitely stick into that. And I'm going to glue down the edges, actually, first of all. And if I get a chance to stitch them, then I can do that. But if I just glue them down for now. Now, you could put acetate or cling film, clear paper packaging on the inside of that if you want to, just to protect it. But I'm not anticipating this is going to get loads and loads of use. So at the moment, I'm just going to glue those two bits down so that I've got a side pocket. So we're definitely using that. I'm going to have to, I could use that as part of the side pocket, or I could use that as the tab to take that in and out. I think I prefer that on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, I'm just eyeballing. I'm going to pop an eyelet in here. Let's see if this will settle. No. I think I've got it on the wrong setting all the time, but I never know which is the right setting, and every time I think I get it right, something goes wrong. So let's try that. Better. So I'm going to want to glue that on here, which I should have done before I glued this closed, but that's okay, because that's definitely savable. So I think I'm going to have that around about there. Yeah, I think so. That's what we're going to do. Show this straight. Okay. And I need to just put a little bit of glue in there, so that hasn't glued particularly well. So this is going to be a pocket, and we are going to use, no, I'm not going to use that. I don't like that in there. I still want to incorporate this onto our book. Our book spine. I want the book spine to be a bit grungier though. And then we'll just lift that up a bit. So that'll go on, definitely I think that's going to go on there, like that. So let's glue this on first. going to pop that on there like that. I might wanted that to go on here. But it might be better. It might go better on here. Let me just pop that under there to keep that on. Like that. So it's just one of those, you know, you can put like a title in there. Okay. So we're definitely going to go with this. I am really wrecking the joint. So what I will need to do then is embellish this a little bit more as well. So we have got a little pocket there that I was going to pop on, which I thought might have been a bit, big, but I think it might work. So I'm just going to have a look here. So that would go on there, like that. So I think that'll work. So that'll go on there like that. Didn't ink that. Oh gosh. That's okay. I'm gonna go for a tag to go on the inside of this. So we have got that there. Like that. And I'm going to put I'll put one of these on each of those. So again, these are from Nathalie's kit. So one there. There's one already on that. But I'm thinking I'd like to put that on there as well. So let's just go over that first. Oops. So we've got two of those there, which I'm going to keep to one side. I want to put some more of this faux tape on here, even though, oh, you're not going to see that now, are you? So I'm going to need that over here. That was a bit of a waste, but that's okay. So that's going to be on here. So I want that over here. Okay. Now don't forget we're creating a cluster, so we want layers. So I quite like that there. Right. Just now go there like that. And then, do we need that one? I don't think we need that one just yet. That's a bit small for what I need. That one there will fit better. The problem now is I should have put that on before. I should have put it on before because I would have wanted brads in there. Okay, let's rethink. We have got more pockets here, which are too big. I do like that. So this is me. I'm so indecisive that I really, really need to have less options to play with. I think that's the key, less options. No, I don't like that there either, but I'm going to keep it because I do want to use it. And I also want to use, I could have put that on there before the eyelet, and that would have looked quite cool, I think. I wonder if I can take this out. No, not without ripping it. Oh, maybe. Yeah. I can. So I'll pop that there like that. And then we'll try again. I'm just going to take a little bit of that edge because I've got a bit too much there. Got about 3 stuck there, have I? No. So I'll pop that in there, like that. Pop that on the back, like that, and hope that we can get this to stay and set. The click is always a good sign, but yeah, there we go, perfect. So that's better. I like that more. So we've got a little bit of hardware here, here. This is going to be attached to here to create our cluster. And again, we're using the book spine. I do need something else here. I really like that library though. I'm wondering if I can take this off without wrecking everything. Well, that's okay, because we're going to recover that. What I want to do is I want to add this to that. Okay, so I'm going to take off these edges, like so. I am going to back this onto some card, which is what I did with the rest of the pieces. I need to seriously fill my glues up. Okay, so that'll go on here, and like that. And I'm going to cut this while it's the glue is setting. Like that. And I'm going to pop some brads on here. So it's not going to reach the full length of these, but I'm okay with that as long as I can get to see the library there. I think that looks like the right spot. So I'm going to put one in first, just so I can make sure it stays where it's supposed to. Like that. And then pop the other one in there. Like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of tape on here, only because, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happened there. My fabric tack is, oh, okay. It's really attractive. Great stuff. There's one to sort out. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on there, just so that when you slide something into the pocket, you are not going to catch it on the brad backs. Okay, I might round the corner on this. I think it will give me a softer look. And then that is going to go on here like that. So we've got some metals. Now, because we've also got these other brady things, I wonder what it would look like if I put 2 in, or whether that would really look like overkill. Because what's really going to bug me is that there's 2 holes where the brads should be there, and that is going to bother me. So I'm going to put another brad in. Yeah, okay. It just hides, and I think it's just a little bit of OCD. But there's a hole for one, so it's going in. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more tape to correct that. Okay, just take those ends off again, like that. And then we've got our pockets. So I'm going to give that a good ink. And I'm going to put some faux washi on that. Down there. And I'm going to glue that over here so you can't see we ever made a mistake. I say we, that's the royal we. So I hope you guys have been taking part in the collaboration. It's been so much fun. Nat and I have been planning this for over 2 years, or talking about it for over 2 years. And we finally got round to it. So yeah, really chuffed that we're at that point where you can actually see it's happening. Okay, just going to pop those on there while that dries. So we're getting there. We're a bit mismatched at the moment. So we've got our book spine. So I am using a book spine. We've got our library card here. This is going to be attached to here because we're creating a cluster. And then I've also got some little envelopes. So I'm going to make these up quickly while the rest of the stuff is drying. These are just a little envelope punch I managed to get hold of. And just make some really cute little envelopes. So probably should have done that before I started folding. So we've got 2 little envelopes there. So I was kind of thinking they could go on here, like that. They haven't got to be usable. I just wanted them on here. So we're going to have one there and one there. Because again, all we're doing is creating some clustering. And we'll have that one, I think, there. So you can, if you wanted to, open up those and use them, just put a little card in. So I think that's okay for the main piece. And we've got this that we're going to be attaching it to. We've got our tags here, which we're going to be using as an insert. So what I might do with this is, let's see how much I can fold that. Because I've backed this as well, see, so it's quite firm. And I could use that as a side piece there. So we've got a piece to pull it out of. Okay, so all I'm doing at the moment is just clustering different pieces together. So it's going to be one giant cluster, but it's also going to be lots of little clusters within the giant cluster, if you know what I mean. So we're going to pop that there. So I'm going to put that to one side and that to one side a minute, because I'm happy with those. So we're just working now on our what I'm going to do with this one here. Let's just do this quickly, if we can. Don't know if I've made that too. Should be okay, yeah. I want that to go on the top there. And then we'll just put another knot here. Okay. And then we'll put that. Okay. And then on these, I'm thinking. No. So we're going to get 2 little brads again, one there, one there. We're going to pop this on here. So one there. And one there. Okay, so again, I'm just going to pop a little bit of string in here, come through there like that, and I'm going to do another knot. Like that. And then we've got this one here. I do want to try and utilise this, but I think that just doesn't go, does it? I wanted to use this, but I'm going to need to back this. So let's see if I can get away with doing it on here. And in fairness, it is what I love about digitals, is that you don't have to use the digital for what it's kind of created for if you want to play with it and do something different. So we've got a relax, we've got a read, relax, and a nap. And what I'm going to do, so I am going to grungy these right up. My hands are absolutely bogging with ink. And then I'm going to pop these on here. I think that's probably the right sort of attitude, isn't it? Read, relax, and then nap. Sounds good. Okay, and then I'm just gonna cut these with a border around them. And the idea is, these go on here, read, relax, nap, something like that. Read, relax, nap. Still not sure what I want to do with these. I've also got some tickets here. These are some old vintage tickets. These might work. Forgot I had those, meant to use them. Because the tickets, tickety, they may look library-ish. We'll see. Gosh, this video must be going on forever now, I am sorry. I hadn't intended for it to be a humongously long one. So I do apologise. Probably a bit too light. I don't know. I'm going to have a piece of that in there, I think, which will break it up, the contrast up a little bit. What else have we got here? Oh, I do like that. So my desk, I don't know, you're probably thinking, how on earth can she work in this? And in fairness, I probably can't very well. I love the blue that Nat's included within her kit. It's just stunning. Absolutely love it. I'm not going to use that, but I am going to use that because I do like it. And I think it all just matches the colour. So I might not even use that one. I might just use that as an inside. I need to back it. I know I need to back it, but I can do that off camera. You don't need to see me do that. So let's get a little bit more of this faux washi tape and then we'll put it all together. Thank goodness, you're probably saying. I'll have a little bit more there. Okay. So we've got our book page, our book spine rather, and a library card that was just going to be some of our backing. Then we've got this piece here, which we're going to attach to it. So let's do that now. So there, I think, like that. I put a little bit too much glue on that. So I'm just gonna, you're not gonna see the back because it's gonna be attached to a journal page. So I'm just literally going to pop that on there just so it absorbs that glue a minute. Okay, so book spine cluster. It doesn't look very centered to me, sorry. I'm going to have to take a little bit off and straighten it because it's really going to bug me. So I'm going to use a little bit of wet glue, which will give me a little bit more wiggle room. So we said about there, I think. Let me just make sure that that is straight. It's better. So I'm going to need to put some glue over here. To glue that on with. Okay. this in here on I Remember. Is that straight? Yeah, I think so. And then we've got this here, and we can, if we want to, put a little bit more string in the top piece. I'm not going to use the other bookmark, I don't like it. So no, I'm not going to use the other bookmark. But I'm going to cut some of that off. So we've got, the prompt was, again, to create a layered ephemera cluster inspired by old book spines. There was a piece that said include an old map, a piece of map. So in the freebies that I got for you, there is an old map in there. So what I'll probably do is back this with the map. So we're including the map. So we've got our book spine. I still want to try and use that somewhere. But I don't know whether I think it's too... I like that one. So yeah, so we got our book spine, which was the book spine inspired part of the prompt. And then I will fill all my glues up before I next craft. So that goes in there like that. We have got little pockets here if we wanted to use those for anything. Nope, trying to take the pocket off. So we could put in a little, there's a little stamp there, fill that up with. So the book spine inspired with a library card. And then we've got a pocket with some envelope pockets on top. We've also got another pocket here. So whatever you pop in there will hold down the envelopes. So whatever you kind of put in your pocket there is going to hold down the envelopes. And then we've got a journal card here, which I'm going to back with the map paper off camera. And that is just going to pop in our pocket here. Like so. Just pull that over a bit there. So that will go in our pocket there. And that will be our layered ephemera, a layered ephemera cluster inspired by old book spine with map in the piece of it somewhere. Now the only other thing I was going to do was add this, just because I had it, and I do like metals, but I don't think it's needed. But I do have a paper clip here with notes on, which I thought might look quite cool by there. So that's it. And it took me forever. I'm really sorry for the length of the video. But I really did enjoy playing with Nathalie's papers, and I hope you enjoyed following along. And yeah, I will... I'll leave it there, and I will catch you in the next video. Be really interested to know what you think. be sure to use the comment section below. If you're not a subscriber and you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing and catch up on the next set of videos that come out. But until next time, as always, stay safe, be well, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.